Our California beer trek goes north with visits to 7 breweries in Boonville, Hopland, Arcata and Eureka, Blue Lake, Redding, and Chico. The area is one of the birthplaces of the brewpub renaissance, with some of the country's first successful breweries to open since Prohibition. Hidden in the forested foothills of the Northern California coast is the folklore town of Boonville. Here the locals have their own special language called bootling. Located at the site of the old Buckhorn Saloon from 1873, the brewpub was the first built in California since Prohibition when it opened in 1987.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi. I came to try some of your beers.
You drank some more beers, or are you ready to drink some more?
I'm ready.
Alright.
Winter Solstice. It has
It's a spiced cream amber ale with cinnamon and vanilla.
cinnamon and
lightly
vanilla.
Spiced. And here is Chris at Anderson Valley Brewing Company drinking our Winter Solstice.
Winter Solstice.
And what do you think, Chris?
Hits the palate, very spicy. Nice creamy, you can taste the vanilla in the aftertaste. Nice, not too heavy, really nice beer.
It's delicious, isn't it?
Our favorite hops here for all of our beers, not meaning we use them in all of them, consists of Northern Brewers or Roycos and Liberties or Cascades.
Roca is pretty bitter.
Yeah. That's what we use for bittering. What's the bittering hops?
Do you dry hop your bitter? No? It's a really good bitter. It's one of the best bitters I've had from the Northwest area. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Lauren. Lauren.
Lauren. I'm Chris.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so do you actually use oatmeal in your oatmeal stout?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Quick girls, just like mine or stuff.
Oh yeah. So how far do you distribute?
Hawaii.
Hawaii, California, is that about it? Maybe
about
Washington, Oregon?
We're in Washington, we're in Washington, D.C., Brooklyn.
Oh yeah?
All over. We're in about 16 states.
Jeez, that's a lot. How do you meet the man?
It's tough. We're brewing twice a day. Right now, only 5 days a week. Soon we have on order for the end of January 50 barrels a minute. That'll allow us to brew 7 days a week.
This area of California was once known for its crops of fresh hops. It is now better known for its wines. I am speaking, of course, of the town of Hopland. But beer is still a favorite at California's first brewpub to open in 60 years, Mendocino Brewing. The brewpub features an expansive beer garden where fresh hops are grown during the summer, and a sandbox for the kids to play in. The brewery also has a family-style restaurant. It opened in 1983.
Okay,
Red Tail Ale.
I made that a little bit prettier.
Red Tail is light, sweet, hoppy. The English mild tradition.
This is where it all starts. See the false bottom?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then all the wort goes to the bottom of that.
We're warming up in this big kettle here.
And this is where the hops is at it. And it's a rolling boil.
And it comes down here and it has to cool off.
It goes through the whirlpool right there. Then yeast is pitched and it's put into primary fermentation. And it goes to secondary fermentation. And more yeast is added in the bottle when it ferments in the bottle's bottle.
Oh really? You have live yeast in the bottle?
In the red tail, high the hop.
Wow, I didn't know that. All right, hey, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Dubbed the drink of the gods, Humboldt Brewing's Red Nectar Ale is a California favorite, located near the Historica Plaza in downtown Arcata. The brewpub was established in 1987 by former Oakland Raiders linebacker Mario Salata. The brewery produces and bottles 15,000 barrels a year of Red Nectar Ale. The restaurant features one of the most impressive glass collections I have ever seen.
Whose glass collection is that?
It's a guy named Dan Forbes who donated it to us, didn't give it to us. Donated it for like a free tab.
Wow, I mean that would have been a disaster
Yeah.
if the earthquake had.
In the back case, a couple glasses fell. You go back there and film those.
Wow.
One of them was kind of suspended between the door that closes and where the shelf ends.
It was like over 5.
Pardon me?
It was over 5 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, it was like 6'1".
6'1".
Yep.
Wow. Sure. Well, this must have been a high-gravity beer to be this sweet and still be 10% alcohol.
That's the one aspect of brewing that I don't understand is gravity. I can tell you the alcohol percentage, percentage by volume.
I mean, there's a lot of unfermented sugar in here. It's real sweet.
Yeah, a lot of unfermented. So that usually raises the original gravity of it.
Yeah, if it keeps fermenting, then it becomes drier and less alcohol, or more alcohol.
Okay, Jeff, is this heaven? No, it's Eureka. A Motel Super 8, Taco Bell, and a brew pub within walking distance. No, this is heaven. The Lost Coast Brewery opened in 1990 by 2 women, Wendy Pound and Barbara Groom, who also does the brewing.
Barbara's taking the spy thing a little too seriously.
You're on beer trek.
Beer trek for who?
Hawaiian Homebrewers Association.
Hawaiian Homebrew Association. Great. Anything I can help you with?
A beer would be great.
Okay. Can you be a little more specific?
Let's see what you got.
Tap, pale ale, amber ale, harvest wheat, winter brown, and stout. Winter brown's really good. It's our seasonal.
Yeah, winter brown sounds excellent.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit right here at the bar. No, I taped this for my friends back in Hawaii, so.
You can get an aerial from upstairs.
Yeah, I will. Lost Coast Brewery in Eureka, California. This is their winter brown holiday ale.
Delicious.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's sweet, spicy, nice Christmas ale. Good job. Good beer.
We bypassed the highway to Samoa and instead made a turn at Blue Lake, home of Mad River Brewing, makers of award-winning Steelhead Extra Pale Ale.
Were you here for the earthquake yesterday?
No. I was down in Mendocino, Hopland, when that happened. So, yeah. Did it shake you up at all?
Yeah.
It's quick. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it woke me up.
I mean, it didn't seem like there's no damage or nothing.
There was some at my house. We lost almost nothing here though.
That's
all.
cool.
Yeah. So that's good. In the lab, I lost graduated cylinder.
Yeah, I'll lose plenty of those.
Yeah, no biggie there.
They're made to be broken.
A lot of stuff at my house fell off the shelves, and
Wow.
it was like I had vials that I was saving in case I wanted to do a PhD of plant extract, and I lost a lot of those. But oh well. I'm in the beer business.
Yeah, really. But where do you get the name for your Jamaica Red? Why do you call it?
Somebody came up with it. We liked it.
It's good. I mean, it's good beer.
And there, Yorkshire open fermenters.
Oh, you use open fermentation. You open ferment all your beers? Oh. Thank you very much,
Sure.
Tom.
Sorry,
And great beer.
Give you the deluxe deal, but
That's all right. I really appreciate you taking the time out.
in there. All right, talk to you later.
All right, take care.
One of California's newest brew pubs is Red, White, and Brew in downtown Redding. The dark, cozy pub didn't have too many drinkers, perhaps in spite of the prominent sign.
Hi, is this a brew pub?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
Sierra Nevada, one of the nation's premier microbreweries, was started by homebrewers Paul Camusi and Ken Grossman in 1991. A brew pub was added in 1990, featuring specialty drafts found nowhere else.
First, I'll tell you a little bit how we got started. The company was started in 1979 by our two owners, Ken and Paul. Both of them young chemistry majors here at Chico and always had a strong interest in brewing beer. In around to some different breweries and saw how they were doing things, and they decided they thought they could give it a shot in Chico. So they leased a small warehouse here in South Chico, and they fabricated all the things they needed themselves and got used milk tanks from dairies, did all the construction work themselves. First year that they were online and bottled their first beer in 1981, they brewed 500 barrels of beer, and we're brewing that amount each day. They've come a long way. Hi, is that on me? Well, this is our black malt. This is roasted very dark. This is what we use in our stout. It gives it a dark, rich, almost a burnt characteristic to the beer. We also have a malt that's not quite as dark as this, called chocolate malt, and that's what we use in our porter.
Where's that malt grown? Over here?
We get it from Wisconsin. And this is our pale malt. We use so much of this, we keep it in large grain silos in the back. And the reason is we use large quantities of this in each of our beers. And that's because the starch inside is still very much alive. It has not been killed by the roasting process. The starch inside these have been killed, so we use this only for color and flavoring. So to get fermentable sugars out of the grain, we need to use large quantities of this. This is our pure malt.
You get your malt from Chilton, Wisconsin?
Uh-huh. Yes, we do. Chilton, yeah. From the Breeze Malting Company.
Yeah, that's a big malting company.
Yeah.
They
consider it an art, something that we don't have the facilities to do and the knowledge. Okay.
What kind of hops do you use primarily? Do you have a favorite hop here? Or?
We use all varieties of hops. We get them all from Yakima, Washington, and the Willamette Valley in Oregon, Cascade. There's all of them. We use a lot of different aromatic hops and also bittering hops. I'm going to take you in there and show you our hop room.
Good.
When most of the liquid is all extracted from this rake is going to go around in this pipe. The pipe's going to sprinkle hot water over the grain bed. And by doing that, we're going to be able to extract as much fermentable sugar from the grain as we can. The beer is going to sit in these open fermenters for 4 to 5 days, fermenting. This room has its own separate heating and air conditioning system so that we don't introduce any bacteria to the tanks. Although the yeast blanket, as the yeast blanket grows, it does protect what's happening underneath. We implement these whenever we can. It's a traditional way of brewing beer, and also it helps us propagate our yeast. We can use our yeast over and over by using these tanks.
Which beers do you open for now?
We do all of our ales, none of our lagers.
Right.
Okay, so which would be our pale ale, porter stout, celebration, Bigfoot. The only lagers that we brew are Summerfest and our pale bock.
And how long did you say you leave it open?
4 to 5 days. Yeah.
So it still ferments in the bottle?
Sorry?
It continues to ferment in the bottle?
Yes. 2 more weeks in the bottle. We do bottle conditioning.
Do they have the bottle upright or on the side?
No, they're upright. They're upright. Yeah.
So how long between fermentation and bottling?
It's a 6-week process. We have 4 to 5 days in this room. Then we're going to pump the beer into secondary fermenters where it's going to ferment for about another month.
Is that over there, down there?
Yeah, I'll take you in there. So it's a 6-week process from start to finish.
I really Are you like the only U.S. brewer that bottle conditions their beers? Are you the only U.S. brewer that bottle conditions their beers, or you must be like the only major one?
Really?
Yeah, most of them, you know, just add CO2. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that. And I'm sure we're not the only ones that do that. We're going to introduce a little bit more yeast. So we do a process here called bottle conditioning. A lot of breweries, especially your major breweries, simply inject their bottles with CO2 as they're being filled, but we don't do that. These are our 2 bottle conditioning tanks here. They're called bright beer tanks.
What do you use to condition the beer?
What
do you add some of the wort, or?
No, we don't use like Dale wort like some breweries do. No, we use a fresh yeast.
A new wort,
yeah.
so to speak. Huh?
Right. Yeah, they don't really add wort. They're going to add yeast, and it's actually a corn sugar. It's a fructose.
Oh, really?
That we use.
Oh, that's like English style. English adds sugar.
Right.
Oh.
But we do ship all over the U.S. We ship to New York City. You can find us on tap, and Florida.
In Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. We're all over the states. We don't do any exportation.
I heard that the pale ale that you serve here is different than the one that you bottle, or is it different, or?
No, actually we have
a draft ale,
and we have a pale ale. And the draft ale is not in a bottle; it's only in a keg, and it's kind of a variation of our pale ale. It's a little bit darker in color and a little lighter in flavor. So if you're somewhere else and ordering at a restaurant pale ale and it's coming to you from a keg, chances are it's probably draft ale.
What were the initial beers that they started off with? Was it pale ale?
The first beer was pale ale that they started with, and actually that's been their biggest seller. That's what's given them their name and made them really popular. It's still their best seller too.
The formula is basically the same, but we didn't filter when we started. We used to have about 4 inches of sediment on the bottom of each bottle. And actually that degraded the quality if it stayed in the bottle very long, because all that trub would actually make the beer taste a lot worse. So basically what we do is actually a centrifuge, which is very gentle on the beer, adds no oxygen and removes the protein in the yeast while not disturbing the beer very much at all. Then we do a really light filtration after that to get it bright. But it's very light and removes very little flavor. It's very coarse filtration because we're not worried it's not a sterile filtration.
So you don't put it through like a micron filter?
No, we don't. Not like what they call cold filter, like what Miller talks about. We don't do a sterile filtration because that strips too much aroma and too much flavor and too much viscosity. It takes away some of the substance of the beer. We don't do that. We just do enough to remove the yeast and protein, which are very big. Our first year we sold beer was 1981. We sold about 500 barrels that year. This 94 will sell about 154,000 barrels. So we've grown a little bit. That was another brewery that was about a mile over. We moved into this brewery. Our last year at the old brewery we did 14,000 barrels. So we're more than 10 times bigger than we were when we moved into this brewery. The market's been supporting our kind of breweries really well. So I don't know if we'll build a new brewery or not. The market could support it, but we haven't decided whether we want to or not.
Stay a specialty.
Yeah, we'll always be a specialty. If we build a new one, it wouldn't be that much bigger. It'd be 3 or 4 times as big. But so we haven't decided because we always knew we wanted to do certain things and wanted certain kinds of equipment and couldn't afford it. So every time we've enlarged, we've spent the money because we have more money as we grow and brought in better equipment, better lab facilities. So actually, we oxidize the beer a lot less than we used to through better equipment. Our quality control is better than it ever has been. So we've actually improved quality as we've gotten larger.
Anything special about this year's celebration? It changes every year, right?
Well, every year it's the same basic recipe, but we use the brand new harvest hops. We use the hops the day we get them to start brewing. We brew it all in about 10 weeks, so they're really fresh hops. And every year the hops are different. The alpha levels are different, the aromas are different, the oils are different. And so each year it's almost like a vintage wine, in that each year that difference shows up in the beer.
That does. Every
Yeah.
year is different.
Yeah, same, just like a vintage wine, same recipe, but the difference in the hops makes a different character. It's very similar, but just slight differences. You know, the hops change every year, so every year we make slight adjustments on the amount and the time we're going to add the hops because to keep consistency. And they change throughout the year also. The hops you get from the new harvest, say the 94 hops, now are different than they'll be next September. And so we make minor adjustments throughout the brewing season to make up for that difference. Most of our hops come from Yakima, Washington. There are no hops grown in California commercially anymore.
How about the Bigfoot? Does that really highly have?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And that's
Very highly
high gravity beer.
Yes. We can never make enough. It's very hard to make. It takes much longer throughout the whole process. It takes longer in the brew house. It takes much longer in fermentation. So we can't make a lot because it clogs up our capacity. You know, it just gets. So we make as much as we can, and it's never enough. Oh, we just brew beer we like. We are home brewers. We brewed ales that we like, and that was the style we liked. We like them. We like a real aromatic hop. We were wine drinkers too. So we like that real aromatic quality, which British ales generally aren't. They're not nearly as, they don't have that in aroma like we do. We also like big, rich beers. And, you know, so that's the way we made them. We liked them. We never did any marketing research. If we had, we would have made Budweiser. Because when we started, nobody wanted these kind of beers in any, you know. But we decided to make the kind of beers that we wanted to make, kind of ales, and see what happens. We let the market decide not what we make, but how much we make. We make what we want, and whatever the market will buy, great, you know. Well, it's like a lot of good, you know, if you look at good cooking with a lot of garlic and other spices or anything that's unique and really, really authentic, has a lot of flavor, a lot of substance, and, you know, that's the way our beers are.
The redwood trees and red brewed beers of Northern California leave lasting memories until our next visit on Beer Trek.